Yeah, we literally don't have a house.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
we sold everything. I retired.
Right.
We sold everything, and this is it.
do you like that? Did you get little things? Did it go like that? Cool.
Behind the scenes.
Cool. Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Mike and Deb, Ironhorse Overland.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys, we've been friends for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got what's Overland Bound number?
14.
13728.
You're in the 1400, so that's a while. That's a while.
13728.
Yeah.
This is easy. I just cut this out, or I don't. I just let it roll.
No, then I slap you. 14314.
14314.
And 13728.
Right on. So you guys, we're over 40,000 right now. The community's growing really fast. You guys have been with us for a little while, and now you guys are full-time overland.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been doing that for a little while. But before you tell us how long you've been doing it, I remember you guys ramping up to it, right?
Yep.
So you're ramping up to it, and then you pulled the trigger, and you've been doing it now for.
We've been since basically since July, end of July.
Yeah.
With some, we had to go back for my last day of work in September.
Right.
And then we had some under roof time because our third grandbaby was born.
Congrats. Yeah.
And then there were the holidays, and
Yeah.
we got COVID, so we've had some under roof time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
essentially since the end of July.
Right on.
And we kicked it off with the Great Divide trip.
Right.
With Kent.
You got things under control, Kent?
Always.
And everybody else through Overland Bound.
Yeah,
It was
so
awesome.
Continental Divide trip. You guys added a lot of locations to Overland Bound 1, shameless plug. So that that track, the Continental Divide Trail, but really the track you guys put together is like the quintessential Continental Divide Trail track. There's just nothing better.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it's
guys,
really, really good.
The guys
yeah.
that worked on that track
Yep.
were amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So really good job. Some would say that this is an extreme lifestyle. You guys you've hit the road. You're here on the Mojave Road with us to do this cleanup this weekend. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for that. And you have a completely open-ended journey. Why did you guys decide this was right for you?
Well, we initially were looking at, you retire and you buy the RV and you tow your Jeep behind it.
Yep.
And we were looking at all of that. And neither one of us, we both spent time camping in out of the way places. Neither one of us had ever done a lot of national park, places that you generally end up when you have an RV.
Yep.
So we thought, well, we better actually go hang out in those places and see if it's something we like. And we very rapidly realized that it was not something that we enjoyed. Way too many people, too loud, too commercialized.
Yep.
And Mike actually found Overland Bound online.
Yep.
And he was like, hey, honey, look at this.
Right.
And we were like, this sounds awesome. We went to our first meeting.
Yep.
And then he was invited on his first trip.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me up from Death Valley, just absolutely hooked.
Awesome.
And it was
Did you get beat up on that
full bore
trip?
from there.
Did I get beat up?
Yeah, the truck, the rig.
No. It was funny because we went to our first meetup with Kent at Sierra Foothills.
Yep.
And about a week later, I get a message on Overland Bound. Hey, you're retired. You should come to Death Valley with us. And I was like, Kent, I'd love to, but have you seen the rally point? Because I have. I don't have any of this stuff.
Right.
He goes, you got to lift in tires. We'll get you through.
Right.
So to make a long story short, I talked to Bob. Bob tells me, oh yeah, we probably won't go into four-wheel drive twice. And I'm like, cool. I hadn't wheeled in like 30 years.
Yeah.
And we went down there. We met Bob. We met everybody. We came in through the Swansea trailhead.
Yeah.
And I'm behind Jeff Nice. You know Jeff.
Yep.
And he's towing his trailer. And I'm just got a lift, and 3-inch lift in 33s. And we're going through that slot canyon. And then I'm looking at the back of Jeff's truck and his trailer. And then the next thing I see is the top of his roof and the top of his Jeep and his trailer. And I get to where you start going up, and I get on the radio, and you want me to do what? God hates a quitter.
Yeah.
Put it in low and just went, and I was hooked from there.
Right on. And now it's been many iterations to what you guys are doing now. Yeah.
And I know myself.
Yep.
I'm a gear guy. And so I had to tell myself early on, let my trips tell me what to buy.
Right.
Not because this is a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Right. Well, so a couple of things you guys have brought up, which are really interesting, that I want to just think about for a second, which is you mentioned national parks, not quite our thing. That's really relevant to the outdoor conversation right now. And what we're like, a lot of what Overland Bound tries to do is get people to disperse. Those locations have enough people, right? And so a couple of things. You're going to discover some awesome things out there that you won't see at a national park that are gorgeous, that are just as gorgeous. So that's
the desert being a main one.
Yeah, absolutely. Down here in Death Valley, here in Mojave,
totally different from what you see from the road.
Absolutely.
Totally different.
Yeah. So some great things. And then Mike, you just mentioned gear, right? And a lot of folks, look at an overland rig or what we're doing, and let's be honest, they look at something like this and they're like, oh my, I could never do something like that. But you have a really good point, and that is, how many years has it been now since you've been iterating up to, since you guys both have been?
3.5.
Yeah.
And we sold our house.
Yeah.
So
that's right. That's right. So it depends on priorities. It's like, is this your priority? Then yes, you can do it, right? But this is a lot of gear.
We did a lot
Yep.
in just our 4Runner with the rooftop.
Right.
We did the entire Washington Backcountry Discovery Trail with a rooftop tent on our 4Runner and lived very, very well.
Right. Right.
I just got to the point where I was standing on the roof of our rig, figured I'm going to come off this one day when it's icy and land on my head, and that's going to be the end of our travels.
Yep.
So, and then now they have those cool clamshell.
Right.
So, I mean, who knows if those were super available when we were planning this all out, we might still be in just the 4Runner with the clamshell.
Right. Right.
But we love our trailer.
Right. Absolutely. So. In a bit, we're going to talk about what you guys are doing next. But why don't you tell us a little bit about this awesome setup right now, and how you got here, and what you got. Like,
I'll let her talk about the trailer because this is her baby.
Great. Why did you guys decide, hey, we want to go with a trailer? That's a major decision in the first place, right? Do you have a trailer or not? So I know people are going to want to know the decision making process.
Well, and it comes with advantages and disadvantages. So advantages are you have a lot of extra living space.
Right.
Disadvantages are parking. Parking in some tight areas you can't get into. The length of your trailer is going to determine the corners that you can make. And that all went into play. The main decision for going with a trailer, like I said, I was up on the roof. It was super icy. I'm putting the rooftop tent away. My foot slipped. I caught myself, but I was like, I'm going to retire after surviving 27 years at the fire department. I'm going to fall off the roof of this truck and brain myself, and that's going to really suck. So we need to figure something else out. So then the search for a trailer went by of, what type of trailer? Do we want it to be an inside? Do we want it to be an outside? And we wanted something that we could get pretty much anywhere that we could get with our 4Runner. So we wanted something small, short wheelbase, something that would turn super, super tight. And it came down to a few companies, and we ended up with the Patriot just because it does all those things. It's very well made, and it has served us very well. Great.
Deb, for the gearheads out there, tell us the make and model of the trailer, and tell us some of the accessories, some of the things that you have on it.
We got the Patriot Camper X1H, which stands for hardtop. So the hardtop opens up, and the tent pops out from that. So it gives us a little bit more protection. If it's windy, we can face that hardtop into the wind, and just get a little extra protection than just canvas. And then we got the tech pack with it, which includes the airbags for the Cruise Master suspension. And it comes with the Red Arc, with the Red View, the Red Vision, so that you can have all of that easily and readily available. And then we got the Webasto diesel heater, which essentially is a really cool water heater.
Right.
It also kind of heats the inside of the tent, but it more just takes the chill off.
10 degrees.
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's
got
not
it.
like
Yeah.
a sauna in there, but
Right.
it takes the chill off.
It's like in the morning when you go, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. With that, you will get out of
It makes
bed.
it tolerable.
Oh, okay, I can get out of bed now. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, and then some extra sails that we got with it that were a little add-on.
Yeah.
And we got the swing out barbecue
Oh yeah, the swing out barbecue and in what they call the man cave, which it's my cave.
per cave.
Right.
But,
Right.
But it's got a pull-out barbecue, which is really, really nice. I use half and half
Very
between
cool.
the regular stove.
And I see how it's set up. You got your fridge there and the sink there. It's all awesome. And you guys have Overland Pros 270 awnings, or actually this is
Raptor 6
This is
the Raptor
6K.
6. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is the 6K.
and the one on the vehicle.
And you also have a Raptor 6K on the vehicle. And right now with the wall kit, you know, we're here, middle of Mojave, winds blowing. We feel like we're standing almost in a little foyer, like
Pretty much.
living room,
And
you
we
know,
only
kind of
have
space.
the one wall up.
Yeah.
You put, when we were in Death Valley just a week ago,
Yeah.
we had all the walls up, and
Yep.
we were sitting here and we're like, I think we have more square footage than we did in our living room. And we didn't have a
Yeah.
small house,
Yeah.
but when you pull those walls out,
Yep.
it just, then you take into the fact that we no longer have couches and coffee tables and all that
Right.
that takes up space. We're like, we have so much room.
Well, and the other thing is, we were talking before the camera was rolling, and you mentioned now you have an open-ended journey, right? And this is a different headspace, because I know even when I go out, sometimes we're able to go out for 3 weeks, but not very freaking often. That's like every few years or something like that. You want to fit a bunch in, and you very tightly schedule, and you're go, go, go. You guys, with this setup, you'll sit someplace for a while. How long? Like,
Well, sometimes we'll go for stuff where we will be go, go, go. You know, the Great Divide trip was go, go, go.
Yeah.
Part of the Baja trip was go, go, go because we had, you know, a limited time to see it. But so sometimes if we have, you know, someplace we really want to be for friends or family or an event or something,
Yeah.
it's pushing. But other than that, it's, especially now with the gas prices,
Yeah.
it's let's sit in Mojave for a week, you know,
Yeah.
let's go. Where's our next? Oh yeah, we'll go sit there for a week.
I talked to a family who was traveling around the world, and you know, they were like, dude, you know, we live with this setup, and we move as little as possible because petrol is expensive.
Yeah.
And right now it's super expensive.
It's
you know?
expensive. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
We're looking at gas going,
Let's get out of California.
Right. right.
like for her, she really likes to stop.
Yeah.
Me, I like the moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
to be able to stay for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I like seeing, I can't
Yeah.
wait to see the next
The
thing.
next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was what was so cool about the Washington backcountry route.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to go and see what I'm going to see tomorrow. This was super nice. I want to go see this.
Yeah.
It really and
That was a trip where you couldn't wait to see what was on the next horizon because the landscape changed so frequently.
Yeah.
It's we went from high mountain to desert to rocky.
Yeah.
So yeah.
yeah,
So-
I mean, and we were kind of the same way. You know, we stayed at a few when we spent 37 days in Baja, from February to March, sometime in March, and it was like you couldn't wait to see what you're going to see next. If you've never been down there, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's nothing what everybody tells you.
Yeah. Let me throw one out there. Do you feel safe in Baja? Let me just throw that out there.
Absolutely.
And what would you guys say about that? Elaborate on driving down there for people who are considering it.
I think if you want to find trouble,
Yeah.
you'll find it.
You will.
I'll
Yeah.
find that where I live.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
Exactly.
no different than driving through San Francisco or driving through LA, and you know, anywhere in LA.
Remember the old guy on the beach?
Oh yeah.
His whole thing was, everybody's so worried about coming to Baja and they think it's dangerous. I was in LA and a guy drove a tank. Remember when the guy drove the tank down
right.
That stuck. He was in LA visiting family when that happened. So he's like, you guys all think Baja is dangerous. He goes, but some guy's driving over cars in LA. I mean, it's perspective.
It is perspective.
And
it's what you know.
And stay out of the big, you stay out of Tijuana. You stay out of the big cities.
Well, with rigs like this too, I mean, if you're remote camping, you stay with your rig, right? And you're right there. You keep an eye on it.
Yeah, you stay with your rig.
Yeah, and even if you were to go into a city, you would definitely want someplace where the rig is behind a gate, secure, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, use common sense.
Like
common sense. Yeah,
it was.
But I won't drive my rig and leave it in San Francisco.
No, everybody, I won't do it in Auburn.
Yeah.
Everybody was so gracious. Thank you for coming and visiting our country.
Yeah.
Please come back.
Yep.
We stayed at a little RV park in El Sargente, Brisa Del Mar.
Brisa Del Mar.
Little plug for them.
They were amazing. They just started their RV park.
Gloria and Victor.
Yep.
Wonderful
amazing.
people. I mean.
And say the name of their place again?
Brisa, Brisa Del Mar.
And is it a campsite restaurant? What is it?
It's a small RV park.
Very
RV
small.
park up on the hill.
Oh, very cool.
And it's like 500 pesos for a night.
Yeah. All right. So you gotta tow this beast with something. Mike, do you want to tell us about the 4Runner? You want to tell us about your rig?
Yeah, she's a 2015 Toyota 4Runner SR5 that's made some changes.
Tell us about the key drivetrain or suspension or engine changes. Anything in there?
As far as the suspension, I switched out. It's been through a couple of iterations. Where it's at now is 2.5 King adjustable reservoir coilovers and shocks.
Yeah.
700-pound springs in the front. Dobson 749,000-pound coils in the rear. Total Chaos upper control arms, lower control arms in the front. California fabrication, heavy duty, adjustable upper and lower rear control arms and panhard. We, because of the extreme weight that she's probably, I'm guessing, 6,200 pounds now.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we also replaced the front brakes. We went with a 6-piston power brake kit in the front.
Well, so that's killer. That's a big brake upgrade. I've talked to Toyota engineers that I won't mention by name who've said the primary thing about the max gross weight is the braking capacity.
And we ran into that on the Continental Divide. The 4Runner actually has a big braking system in the front. It's a 4-piston setup. But when we were coming down some of the steep grades in the Continental, like coming off of Engineer Pass and all that, I could feel it in the brakes. Yeah. So that was one of my primary concerns when we got back.
Right. Let's talk about some of the accessories on the 4Runner. I've seen some things under the hood. Some killer stuff. We did a little live thing on Instagram. What kind of accessories do you have in and out of the truck?
So everything I do, I try to head off a future problem.
Yeah.
On the live, you showed our welding system.
Yep. That
came from a trip out here where Kent broke some axles.
Yeah.
And since it's just me and her, I was like, I'm not a master welder, but I could use that to fix something just to get back off the trail.
Yeah. Tell us the name of it.
It is a Premier Power onboard welder.
Okay, cool.
They're out of Yucca Valley.
Okay, it just seems like such an efficient setup. It seems really, really cool.
They have an old school shop where they actually build alternators. It was really nice to be in an old school shop where they actually have the housing and build their own alternators.
Oh, that's cool.
And the guy is great.
And everything. Yeah.
The owner, Greg, is just awesome.
Awesome guys.
Very cool.
We also have, obviously, I put a snorkel on it. Now the snorkel's not really for water; it's for being out in the desert with the dust.
Yep.
It helps with the water.
Yep. Clean air, cold air.
I just replaced the radiator, water pump, all that stuff. The upper control arms, obviously. We also changed out our whole 12-volt system. I used to run a 55 amp hour Odyssey 34R under the hood with a Red Arc 1225. Everything stayed hot under there, so we took all that out. We stripped out the seats and the back, and it has a goose gear plate system with the 100% seat delete.
Yep.
And under that, we have a Battleborn batteries, 100 amp hour internally heated battery that's ran by our Red Arc Manager 30.
Yep.
And then we have a full S-Pod Bantam system that runs all our accessories.
And then we ended up also taking out our gel batteries from the trailer and putting in the Battleborn 100 amp hour lithium batteries into here as well.
Great.
Didn't think that we would be using the internally heated aspects part of them so soon.
Right.
Because, we put them in and we didn't think
and we were going to
Mexico.
Right.
So we're like, it's not going to be cold. We had the polar vortex go through when we were in Mexico. So we
Didn't know what a polar vortex was.
Yeah, so we actually ended up, we learned, yes. So we actually ended up appreciating that particular internally heated aspect of those batteries in Mexico. Who was to figure?
Yeah.
We also have a full 4Runner Slimline 2 rack. Out of all the research I did, it was, to me, the most solid rack on the market.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I was heavy, I could walk across the rack with no problems.
Great.
We have a brute force, talking about armor, we have a brute force full rear bumper with dual swing outs, a DeMello full 3-hoop bumper in the front.
Yeah.
And RCI skids, 3/16-inch steel skids all the way across the bottom.
I mean, this is an epic setup. I mean, it's really, really awesome.
It's fun. It's been years in the development, and a lot of oh well, that didn't work.
Right, and I've seen that iteration over time with the with the 4Runner, and then deciding on the trailer, and then iterating on that. You guys have been through a lot of experience over the last few years to kind of come to this.
And it's just little things like I just put in a bottom fill system in the trailer because you could only fill it one way.
Yeah.
And it didn't fill very well, and it wasn't vented very well, and then also you can't get water out unless the water pump works. Well, what happens if you're in the middle of the desert and your water pump burns out? So I just put in a bottom fill system. So now I can fill from the bottom, but I can also get water out from the bottom. And that all just comes from being out here and either seeing other people lose their water pumps and go, oh, if that happens to us, I have no way to get water easily. And how do I fix that? How do I get around that? How do I have a backup, some redundancy?
Yeah. So, I mean, a good point is that part of your experience is learning the equipment that you use and learning the equipment that you have and the configuration you've gone with. So, giving a little bit of advice for folks who are new, you get the
Gunner, phooey.
You have to learn, so a little bit of unsolicited advice, y'all, for beginners. You can kind of get your base level kit and get good advice on getting started. So, hey, you need these basic configuration things for your truck, and make sure you're bringing this.
Lift.
The basics. But once you really dive into it, it has a lot to do with the configuration that you choose for you, what's right for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
And what you're going to use it for.
Yeah.
And how you, there's no one right way.
Right.
Mine's went this way. Ours went this way. It's went this way. Originally I really enjoyed the harder stuff.
Yeah.
So I went with all steel. Now I look back at that and I go, maybe I'll switch the skids out to aluminum.
Yeah.
But the thing is it depends on what you're going to do.
Right.
And for us, we can do the hard stuff with our setup.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea it's not not if you break something, it's when you break something.
Correct.
So what I do is just look at it and go, what's going to be my best modification? And I got to tell you, by far, the Long Range America 24-gallon tank for me has, and that's not a shame plug or nothing.
No.
The whole time we were on the Continental Divide, Kent would come across the radio and say, anybody need need to get gas or fuel. I know you don't, Mike.
Yep.
When we were in Baja, we never had to worry about fuel.
Yeah. And the other thing for you guys too, you know, full time, long range, you can look at a freaking gas price map and do some planning.
Yes.
Because it makes a difference
totally.
on 100, or you know, it makes a difference.
Well, when I'm getting 10.5 miles to the gallon,
yeah,
you know,
right.
You know, 4Runners weren't known for good gas mileage.
But if you can save $1 a gallon, holy cow, that adds up fast.
You know, and so I look at that stuff. We used to run a dual compressor under the hood to run the lockers and to air up. We went to a power tank. But I got to tell you, it's a great product.
Yeah.
But when you get so far away from the West Coast,
yeah,
nobody really knows about them.
Interesting.
We were in Oklahoma, and I go, hey, where can I get my power tank full? Your power what?
Your power what?
Oh, interesting.
So we took that off. We moved our dual compressor to the back with a 1 gallon tank.
Yeah.
Now we air up off that and air down off that. It's slower, but it works.
Everywhere, yeah.
And then we just put a single compressor up front for the lockers because we run front and rear ARB air lockers. Okay. And we re-geared to 488 because I knew we were going to run bigger tires with a trailer.
We were finding the only place that we could get the tank filled while we waited, because you could go to a welding shop, but they want you to leave it, which that doesn't work. Yeah. We were finding that you could go get them filled at the marijuana
dispensaries.
Well, not the dispensaries, the marijuana farming supply places, because so we're like, okay,
okay.
Okay. Yep.
Colorado, California are
yeah,
okay.
We can get it filled in Colorado and California. We're good there, and every place else, we're
sorry
doomed.
about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, we look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the first communications was a big one when we first started.
Yeah.
We started off with a little Bowfangs.
Yeah.
Now we run a Yaesu FTM 400.
Yep.
And then we have a CB in there. That'll probably come out, and I'll put a dedicated GMRS in.
Yeah.
Because nobody uses CB anymore.
Right. I haven't run into CB I still have a CB, but I haven't run into somebody with a CB in a long time.
Because nobody uses
every once
them.
in a while.
I mean, you know, we also run a 1,000-watt SP1000 Cotec inverter.
Yep.
And so we can charge all our,
all of our stuff,
our batteries for our drills and our impact gun and all that stuff. And we run a fridge here as a 63-quart ARB fridge for a fridge. But we also run a 55-liter Dometic in the truck as a freezer.
So I can buy good food.
Yeah.
When we are in places
all
that
this
I can buy
stuff,
good food.
Right.
And keep it.
Right.
You know.
How many? Do you know how many quarts the freezer is?
Well, it's 55-quart Dometic.
Okay, awesome.
And we
just, holy crap.
It's a single.
It's big.
Yeah,
It
came
originally
with
came
a
with a trailer.
Yeah.
Because the whole 2020 that shall not be named. All the supply issues. We wanted it to come with the ARB 63 quart, but they couldn't get the ARBs, so it came with the Dometic. So we just did a flop. We put our 63 quart that was in the truck into the trailer and use it as a fridge. And then we're like, let's put that in the truck where the other one used to live. And now it's our freezer.
Great.
So we can stock up on good meat and
storage. We run the Boss Strongbox 4Runner Overland drawer system. It's a great system. I mean, it's made out of 16 gauge steel, and it only weighs 115 pounds.
That's good.
And for Toyotas, I mean, weight is everything.
Yeah.
But it also allows me to carry all my tools, my welding gear, and then we got a couple of Pelican boxes on the top with spare parts.
Yep.
And I just looked at what are the common things that break when you're on the trail.
For the things that nobody likes to talk about, the showering and pooping.
Yep.
Everybody's like, well,
it's very important.
But nobody wants to talk about it.
Right.
It's but we end up using the Thunderbox, a company that they distribute here is an Overland member as well. And so we use that because it packs up so small and fits in the trailer super easy and is actually comfortable.
And we can drop our quick pitch ensuite down
And-
from this other side, and it works perfect.
It works perfect.
And in environments like this, or out in, in certain environments, you want to have some kind of privacy. So that just,
It's perfect.
That's perfect.
The thing I caution people is, and you were talking about the new people,
Yeah.
every change you make, there's a good consequence and there's an unintended consequence.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that stuff first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody, I got to go with 35s. I have 35s. And Toyota never intended that truck to have 35s on it. So
Right.
you
There's
have to
been a
do a
lot
bunch
of
of stuff.
things
Right.
that we've had to do
Right.
that after the fact we're like, oh,
Yep.
okay, now we got to do this and do that.
Mud train, all train.
I
You know,
run,
it's like-
I run
Yeah.
RTs
Yep.
because the Toyo RT
Mm-hmm.
MTs are 80 pounds a piece,
Right.
or 88 pounds a piece.
Yeah.
It's not sprung weight, but it's rotational mass.
Yeah.
And my gas mileage is bad enough.
Right. Right.
So that's another
Yeah.
consequence to everything you do on your rig.
Yeah, it's a very good thing to keep in mind. There's always a trade-off. What's important to you? What
Yeah.
you're willing to sacrifice in order to have that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't, like we were talking earlier, you don't need all that
Yeah.
to go out and overland.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I had just as much fun when I had a lift and tires
Yeah.
and I was cooking off my little
With
Coleman one burner stove.
with the
Yep.
smallest Tupui tent that they made on top,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
does all this make it more comfortable? Sure.
Yeah. And you guys are doing it full-time.
Full-time,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, we literally don't have a house.
Right. Right. So
We sold everything. I retired.
Right.
We sold everything, and this is it.
well, you guys now, Ironhorse Overland is Ironhorse Overland on Instagram.
Yep.
Yes, they are.
Are you Ironhorse Overland in you are Fire Mom?
I'm Fire Mom on
On the
forums,
OB1
on the
app.
OB1 app.
Right. Mike,
Yeah.
are you on the app?
I am.
So what's your
It's Magic Mike.
Magic Mike? That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I didn't give myself that.
No,
Well, there you go. There you go. And you guys are now a tremendous resource for folks. If they reach out to you either on Instagram, they can ask questions about, hey, what do you guys do? I imagine.
they can
right? I don't
ask,
wanna-
and hopefully we'll be able to answer, or
Right.
we may
You
just
know,
go, yeah, no, I have
we
no
get-
clue.
We
Right,
get questions from people all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to answer anything
Yeah.
I can.
And we learned, I learned so much from
Yeah.
the forums. If I have
Yeah.
something going hinky with the trailer or
Yep.
something with the truck, get on the forums and just do a search. Okay, look, somebody else had this problem. Okay, how
Right.
did they fix this bottom fill
Yep.
system that I did? I found somebody else on the forums who had the
Yep.
same problem
So-
and had a fix for it, and that gave me the idea,
Right.
which then got me searching.
And
Yep.
this is not
yeah.
necessarily a plug, but going through the different threads on Overland Bound,
Yep.
So much
there
information.
is a thread for everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you can't find it, you just make your own thread and people will, they say you build it and that
Yeah.
people will come.
Yep.
Yep.
It is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
All right, you guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us,
Oh,
talk to everyone else, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I really
awesome.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. been
Godspeed,
fun.
safe travels.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm going to plug us. Please follow us on Instagram at Ironhorse Overland.
Yep.
And when our YouTube channel goes up, it definitely won't be super professional, but it'll be
No.
real.
Cool.
And can I add one other thing?
You absolutely can. Yeah.
It's, we were talking about my flag over there.
Oh, yeah.
Baja's international, but it's right next door to us.
Yep.
And all the wonderful people that we met over there, I got the idea just to have people that I talked to and that had an effect on me sign this flag. And it's going to be something that we can hang on the wall
Yep.
when we finally stop
Yep.
and look back and go, wow, that was an awesome ride.
Yeah,
Awesome
that
trip.
it-
awesome adventure.
And it will be covered with your memories. I
Yeah.
mean, just each person. So yeah,
Initially it
that's
was
awesome.
just going to be Baja, and I kept forgetting to have people sign it. So now it's going to move all the way up into Alaska
Yeah.
and all our travels.
Yeah.
Yep.
So someday when you see it, it'll be completely covered.
Well, we'll probably be calling you and buying another flag at some point.
I'll send it.
So.
No, you just write me a message. Tell me where I can send it, and I'll send it. Yeah, yeah.
General delivery to who knows where.
Who knows
Yeah,
where.
no, exactly.
So that's what I got.
Yeah. Right on, you guys. Thanks for the information, and Godspeed. Have a great
Thank you.
trip, and we'll be following along.
Thank you
Awesome.
for
Yeah,
being there
cool.
to help
Absolutely.
inspire us.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's absolutely my pleasure.